You are the most egotistical, self-deluded person I have ever met.
And welcome back. You are listening to Loud Beard Sports. I am your host, Loudbeard, bringing you the loudest and beardiest news in the world of sports and entertainment all over the world. And as always, I have a co-host, and that is the one, the only...
DD!
Welcome aboard, DD. We are going to go on a magical ride today as we experience the thrills and chills of the Winter Olympics.
All right, we're not in line for the Aladdin ride at Disney.
We are going to have
Tone
fun.
it down a notch.
We're just coming off the NBA All-Star Weekend. King LeBron James was tearing it up.
Whoop, whoop.
And we've got a ton of other action. We've got MLB, NBA, football, foosball, soccer, dad jokes, beer,
We got a full schedule
beards. We got it all. And I am glad everybody's listening out there. You can always check us out on iTunes, and we are officially on 12ouncesportsradio.com. Great place to check out ourselves and many of the other podcasts out there that are working hard, doing their thing, trying to build their brand, build their name. And the Scout Team Sports Show is on Wednesday night, 7:30 to 9. I am a co-host of that show, and you can always enjoy some Loud Beard Wednesday night, 7:30 to 9. Again on 12 Ounce Sports Radio. So, DD, you having a good week?
It's been pretty good, not gonna lie.
Oh, yeah? What kind of excitement do you have going on? Do you want to go into soccer talk immediately? That way we draw our audience in and give them the real goods?
Sure. Well, Friday, my high school team, we played in the state semifinals against Palm Harbor University, and we won. So we're going to play in the state finals this coming Friday for the fourth year in a row for us seniors. And so hopefully we'll be able to get another state title. And if so, that'll be our third in a row if we win.
That's right, and you're playing over on those fields that Stetson University plays on. It's kind of in the middle of the state there. It's going to be a great experience. I wish you the absolute best. I don't want to jinx anything, but I feel good for you.
Yeah,
I feel real
if not,
good.
you guys will feel the wrath of my anger.
Yeah, you do get pretty angry. You're very volatile. You know what I do when I get angry? I like to pop open a nice cold one. Ah, that is how I like to refresh myself. When I get angry, it calms me down, it cools my nerves, and it is magically delicious. Tonight, I am drinking a Dogfish Head 60-minute IPA. I thought it would be perfect for a 30-minute show to have a 60-minute IPA. Does that make sense to you, DD?
Why not? I'm drinking coffee, so that's my beer of the night, coffee.
You know, it's kind of late to have coffee. But if you're tuning in, you're listening to us at 8 a.m. on
Tuesday
on 12ouncesportsradio.com. All right, I've been plugging all of this like crazy, so it's time to get to some of the nitty-gritty of the show. So you know who else is having a really great week this week, DD?
Who?
Austin Dillon wins the Daytona 500 Sunday. Great performance out of Austin Dillon. One of the best things he did, though, is after he won, he celebrated like a champion, and he went and got a tattoo on his ass that said Daytona 500 champ.
Why? Why would he do that?
You know why he did that? Because he wanted to inspire Loudbeard to do a top 5 best butt tattoos.
Wow, that was very loud.
Or are they the worst butt tattoos?
You'll be the judge of that.
All right, number 5, 100% USDA prime beef. That would be a good tattoo, right, DD?
Sure.
Number 4, open for business.
Oh my gosh.
Number 3, YOLO.
Oh my gosh.
Number 2, shit happens.
Yep, That's a true one.
And number 1, best, worst butt tattoos that somebody could be getting. And I think you're going to like this one, Dee Dee. This is my favorite. Welcome to Asperger's, home of the Asperger. How may I take your order?
I don't get it.
No?
No.
Good Burger? No, you
never
saw
seen that.
What?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, you're too young for all this modern day.
All this modern day. It's obviously like turn of the century. Is that the correct saying? Like past.
You're just saying I'm old, and I don't like that. I don't appreciate that.
Well, in so many words.
But Daytona 500. Let's get back to what we're talking about here. Peyton Manning. He was in the house at the Daytona 500.
Okay.
He was out there driving the pace car around, having a good old time, living up retirement life. So good for you, Peyton Manning. If I was retired, I'd be running around doing that kind of crazy stuff too. Danica Patrick. This was a big news of the day. You know what Danica was doing?
I do.
What was she doing?
She was racing in her last race.
She was, yes.
And then, crashed.
She crashed and burned.
Yeah, crashed
without
and
the
burned.
burning.
Yes.
Part of the problem was probably the fact that she got a little good luck smoochy boochies from her main beau, Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my goodness.
That's right, Mr. Discount Double Check himself. He was there. It was all over social media. He gets over to the car, he leans in and gives her a good old smoochy boochie.
I didn't even know they were a thing.
They're a thing, man. It's everywhere. You need to get. The problem is you just Snapchat all your soccer friends, and you're not paying attention to the real world.
No, the problem is I'm barely on my phone because I'm too busy doing other things without, just
spoken like a real teenager. Never on your phone.
I'm not.
Sure.
I am not.
Whatever.
Okay.
All right, so I was thinking Brad Keselowski was going to be one of the finishers. I had all my money on him. It was Bitcoin, so it was real money, and he was one of the ones that crashed. Also, a lot of the big names had crashes throughout the race. So Keselowski doesn't come up with the gold. And then Austin Dillon, he wins it, but it was a really close race at the very end. Bubba Wallace. I don't know if you've heard of Bubba.
Nope, I have not heard
of
Bubba.
So Bubba Wallace, he gets second place, and he is the first black driver to ever get that high of a placing at the Daytona 500.
Huh.
Yep, he was this close. The very, very end of it, he was this close to being the first black driver to win the Daytona, but he gets second, which is still an iconic feat for him.
Right. And it's always good to see a close race. You don't want like one that's, a blowout.
Like lame,
boring,
lame, awful.
Yeah.
I agree, Dee Dee. The Daytona 500 is actually one of those sports that you don't really appreciate what it is, and the Daytona 500 is a actual race. NASCAR as a sport, you don't really appreciate how amazing the sport is until you see it live. It's one of those events that has to be seen live.
Oh, for sure. I've never seen it live, but,
When you go to the Speedway, I've been to Daytona 500, you get up near the fence as you're kind of walking by. You can't really stand up on it, but you can walk by. And when the cars come by, the sound, like everything shakes, the smell of the exhaust and the gas, and it's just an experience that is just very difficult to describe. But it is something that I recommend all of the Loudbeard listeners to experience once in their life. Austin Dillon, the man with the big butt tattoo, he drove car number 3. And you know why number 3 is iconic, don't you, Dee Dee?
Isn't that Dale Earnhardt Jr.?
Number 3, well, it was Dale Earnhardt Jr. at one point. He ended up going to 88 later on 88. In his career. But his dad, who is the real man.
Okay, yeah, that's what I meant.
Dale Earnhardt Sr. was number 3.
Okay.
And so Austin Dillon wins it with that same iconic number 3. So that was a big weekend in NASCAR. A lot of great events going on. We live really close to Daytona. One of our special guests that was on Scout Team Sports a few weeks back, they call him Boston. He's from the Boston area. He loves the New England Patriots. We were talking to him about the Patriots before the Super Bowl. He was in town for the Daytona 500. A lot of people come and visit the area for the experience of the Daytona 500. So really great stuff. So not to bore you too much, Dee Dee, you look like NASCAR is really tearing you down. I figure we get into something a little bit more exciting.
Okay, let's do it.
Baseball talk.
Okay.
So you excited?
Yeah.
You excited?
Yeah.
All right. So last week, Darvish.
What in the world? You Jarvis?
Darvish goes to the
Darvish.
Cubs. So Darvish, he was playing with the Dodgers last year in the World Series. He kind of had a bad go at it. He had a good year, but it looked like he was tipping his pitches. The other team picked up on it. He really just had some bad outings in the World Series, but he came up as a free agent, and he finally gets a deal with the Cubs last week. Now, this week, Eric Hosmer signs a $144 million deal with the Padres. Hosmer was known for his excellent play out in Kansas City, helped that team get to the World Series. So now he's going with the Padres. So we saw a slow developing free agency period in baseball, but now we're starting to see some of these dominoes fall. And just this afternoon, JD Martinez signs with the Boston Red Sox for $110 million. So all of these players are starting to come together. You're starting to get a little bit of action in baseball, but nothing to get super excited about yet. It's still early in the season.
Right.
So nothing really exciting yet, except Babyface. That's right, I'm starting out with our Babyface of the Week, and our Babyface of the Week is Mr. Tim Tebow. I said we were going to talk a little bit about baseball, but I cannot talk about baseball without bringing up the great Tim Tebow, the general manager, Sandy Alderson from the New York Mets, where Tim Tebow is playing for their farm system, said that he believes Tim Tebow will be in the major leagues one day, and they are doing everything they can to get him there. So, got to bring up a little Tim Tebow talk. Can't have an episode without our main man, Tim Tebow, coming into the mix. So, I got to keep that going for him. Dee Dee, I hate to ask this question, but do you remember who Gronk is? He's that guy from the Patriots. Kind of the big tight end that he's the party dude.
I think I know the name.
So I'm thinking this dude, he talked a little bit about possibly retiring in the offseason.
Okay.
Hasn't made any decisions. Nothing's definitive. But I was kind of thinking about this. Ronda Rousey a few weeks ago made her debut in the WWE. And I really think that there could be a chance that the party animal himself, Rob Gronkowski, could be a WWE wrestler.
I don't know.
Soon.
I don't know.
I mean, I kind of equate it to The Miz. Do you know who The Miz is?
No.
He was on, like, Real World and Road Rules and all those challenges on MTV back in the day. Do you ever remember? You don't even know what I'm talking about. Okay.
No.
All right. So I feel really old right now, but I'm going to
You should
continue
be.
on. I'm taking it to the next level here. I'm just so upset because you don't know any of this pop culture. I guess it's old pop culture, huh?
Yeah. Very old.
Okay, so The Miz, he ended up going to the WWE. Some of these big personalities in the world, they become big WWE guys, and this is their thing. This is what they do, and that is kind of what's going to happen to Gronk. Just saying.
I don't know.
So your Washington Redskins had a big quarterback controversy this offseason. It's actually been brewing for a couple years now, but Kirk Cousins,
Yes.
he is officially not the man in Washington anymore. Alex Smith got brought over to the Washington
From
Redskins.
the Chiefs?
From the Chiefs.
Oh, my God.
So he's going to be the quarterback.
He wasn't very good.
Who,
Was he?
Alex Smith?
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Oh, he is?
Now that he's playing for the Redskins, he's the best quarterback in the
Okay.
league. Top 5. That's right. Alex Smith is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL.
Okay, but realistically?
Realistically, he's better than Kirk Cousins.
Okay.
And the New York Jets made a statement. I guess this is more of a news story that's going out there, that the Jets are going to do whatever they can to get a quarterback, and they're looking at Kirk Cousins. They're going to do whatever it takes, pay the man however much he wants to get Kirk Cousins to be their quarterback. What do you think about that, Dee Dee?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he's that good. I don't know how he plays. I'm not too sure. I don't really watch football that much. I just know what you tell me.
So the Jets need a quarterback, bad.
Okay.
They've been having bad go with quarterbacks lately. They had some Fitzmagic a couple years back, but that seemed to be more of lightning in a bottle than anything else. And, they go in, they have McCown as their quarterback this year, who's an old journeyman type quarterback. They had Fitzpatrick for the last 2 years before that. They had a Geno Smith experiment. They had a Mark Sanchez experiment. They had Bryce Petty on their roster. They can't develop these young quarterbacks, so they need to bring in a big-time quarterback into their team. And I think that's why they're going.
That's where Kirk Cousins comes into play.
That's right. Kirk Cousins could be part of the gang green coming up this next season.
The gang green?
The gang green. All right. This is a good news story for you, Dee Dee. I know you love school.
No.
Juju Schuster-Smith,
Juju.
who has become
That's what it sounds like.
He has become one of the most animated, fun, interactive type guys in the NFL. He posted a picture out there on social media in the Twitter sphere, and that picture said something along the lines of, "Hey, I'm going back to school for my mom."
I saw that.
And he's wearing full pads, full jersey, total publicity stunt.
Yeah, and then there's like a photo crew or a camera crew.
Yeah, like,
taking pictures of him.
Everybody act cool, man. Everybody, just chill.
And there's like no one around him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's totally fake.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to think.
I don't know.
Well,
if you're gonna go back to school, just go back to school. You don't need to tell anyone.
Yeah. Good point. That's why it's a publicity stunt, I guess.
Yep.
But this is the type of guy that wants to be in the center of attention. I like it. I think he's kind of a fun, happy-go-lucky type of guy, but at some point you just got to say, okay, a little bit too much. Move on, Juju. Move on.
Move on, Juju.
All right, so we had a big weekend in the NBA this past weekend. It was All-Star Weekend, and there was a lot of different festivities leading up to the All-Star game. And it all started on Thursday night with a little lip sync battle, Dee Dee.
Oh, I think I saw that.
So the clown man himself, Lonzo Ball, and his dad, Big Mouth LeVar, did a lip sync battle. So this was leading up into the All-Star weekend. So good time for them to throw in some NBA guys out there. But I would have to say that this was one of the most disappointing lip sync battles I have ever seen.
Well, I think the Suns was bad. The Dads was okay. It was still not amazing, but the Suns, there was nothing special about it.
Yeah, that was bad. To me, the whole thing was bad. LeVar's was better than Lonzo's.
Yeah, but nothing.
But that wasn't saying much. It was crappy against shitty.
Yeah, basically.
And which one was worse?
Right.
Diarrhea against vomit.
Definitely vomit is worse.
Rat poison against bug poison.
I feel like rat poison is worse. I feel like you could survive.
So
bug
all
poison.
of those are worse. They're bad. They were all bad. You see what I'm going with this?
I see.
So Dee Dee,
your jokes or your voice.
Okay. This is going to be a difficult episode if you continue your shenanigans, Dee Dee.
They're not shenanigans.
This
It's
is
just
not
proven
the
fact.
place. This is not the forum for you to be talking smack to Loudbeard right now, Dee Dee.
Well, it's not talking smack. It's just proving facts.
Facts? You're going to fact check me on the fact machine?
Yep.
Hashtag facts.
On
I
the
love when
fact
people do
machine.
that on the fact machine. Thanks a lot, Dee Dee. Ugh. So anyway, Dee Dee, speaking of facts, I just want to tell you that the world is flat. The Earth is flat. Are you a flat earther, Dee Dee?
No, I am not.
So Steven Jackson, the ESPN analyst, former NBA star, he takes a globe and does this spinning globe and shows it in front of Kyrie Irving's face.
Yeah.
You know why that's funny?
Why?
Because Kyrie Irving is a flat earther.
Oh my God. I don't understand how people think the Earth is flat. I don't understand their logic.
Nobody does.
No,
except for the 1% of the Earth.
Earthers.
And you would think he's a smart dude, maybe.
I don't know. I mean, this was proven. You were taught this in elementary school. The Earth is not flat.
I agree. I completely
There
agree.
are satellite images out there. Oh my God, I can't. The Earth is not flat, people.
A little other side news. Again, you're not really up and hip on all the pop culture, but back in the 90s, there was a cool game known as Shaq Fu. It was like a fighting game with Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh, my gosh.
He had his own video game. And I saw a rumor out there that Shaq Fu is getting a reboot. It's coming back.
Oh.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody's been waiting for it. Everybody has asked for it. And it is back. Shaq Fu is coming for you.
Shaq is back on the attack.
Yep, he is. Man, Shaq and Barkley on the TNT coverage, those guys crack me up. And even Kenny and Ernie on there are good compliments to those guys. But, man, Shaq and Barkley make that show. And I think it's because you got that Shaq Fu going on one side and you got Sir Chuck on the other. Those guys killing it. Absolutely killing it. So All-Star Weekend, we got 3 big challenges on Saturday night. I got a chance to watch these. They were pretty fun. A lot of good stuff going on. So you got the 3-point contest, the skills contest, and the dunk contest. We'll start out with the skills contest because that's what they show first.
Okay.
And that's kind of like, hey, I'm going to dribble around some sticks, pass the ball through a hoop, hit a 3-pointer. It's got like some point guards out there, a couple big men. Just, hey, I'm all around one of the best players type deal. So
just to show off, basically.
I put out a prediction ahead of time out on Twitter at Kyle Scout Team or at Loudbeard Sports on Twitter. You can always check us out. But I put a prediction out there. I said that it would be Spencer Dinwiddie, Eric as the skills winner, Eric Gordon as the 3-point winner, and Donovan Mitchell as the slam dunk winner.
And were you right?
2 out of 3 ain't bad, Dee. The one I got wrong was Eric Gordon. It was actually Devin Booker who won that one. So Spencer Dinwiddie takes the skills challenge. 3-point contest, that was a lot of fun. A lot of people thought Klay Thompson would be the guy to take it home. And Klay is just such a phenomenal 3-point shooter. It was hard to go against him. I was going for Eric Gordon, but Devin Booker's the one that came in and took the trophy home. So that was pretty amazing. And then I thought the dunk contest was a lot of fun. The dunk contest gets a lot of criticism. Back in the day, I'm going old school on you again, Dee. Back in the day, you had the Jordan and Nick Wilkins one slam dunk contest going on. And those guys, man, they were unbelievable. But the dunk has evolved, and athletes have gotten so much better. And, you know, you see the same dunks year after year. So it takes a little while for it to get exciting. And it got a little boring over the last, maybe out of the last 10 years. And then all of a sudden, Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine, I thought, brought it back a few years ago. And now we're seeing some good dunks out there. So the winner of it all was Donovan Mitchell. He went ahead and donned the Vince Carter, Central Florida legend, Vince Carter's jersey, and did one of the Vince Carter's windmill dunks. You also had out there Larry Nance Jr., who is playing for the Cleveland Cavaliers, who his father won the contest back in 1984, I believe it was, when he played for the Cavs. And Larry Nance Jr. did the exact same dunk his dad did. And it was just a beautiful sight. You can check it out. It's all over YouTube. It's all over social media. It's anywhere you want to see things that need to be seen. So you can check that out, Dee, whenever you get an opportunity.
I've already seen it.
All right. Bored you to death already?
Yep, basically.
All right. So with that being said, Dee, I need to talk a little bit about something else that is really important to me. And do you know what that is? Beards. That's right, Dee. How did you guess?
I don't know. It was just a hunch. Little birdie told me.
That's right. We do beards, sports, and beer. I'm drinking a beer. I have a beard. And there we're talking about sports. So the sports that we're going to talk about, our beard man of the week is going to be LeBron James, King James. He was the captain of Team LeBron.
Woof.
Of course he's the captain
yeah,
of Team LeBron,
obviously.
Right? And so he goes in there, and he tears it up, and he kind of brings this ferocity back to the NBA All-Star game. You start seeing guys out there playing a little bit more defense. You're starting to see a little bit of hustle. You're starting to see guys really take it seriously. And LeBron James said he was going to make this, he was going to turn it around and make it a serious competition. And he definitely did that. He was 2 assists shy of getting a triple-double. He wins the MVP of the game. His team wins. Steph's team, Team Stephen or Team Steph, whatever you want to call it, has the ball with merely seconds left. And they're down by 3, and LeBron James and KD do a double team and play unbelievable defense, which you would never have seen in the past few years at the All-Star game.
So I guess they're trying to make it come back.
They are trying to make a comeback. They're trying to make it fun, but competitive. And I think part of that, too, is the commissioner, Adam Silver. He went ahead and raised how much money the people who win the game get, so he's giving them an extra incentive, extra bonus, so that makes it a little bit more competitive.
For sure.
Would you want some more money?
Yeah,
DD?
yeah.
You want a bonus?
Yeah.
All right, play harder.
I don't get paid enough for this.
You need to play a lot harder.
Well,
Put a little bit more effort into it, a little bit more energy.
Oh, gotcha.
All right. So Adam Silver says, he comes out, he's actually said a bunch of really smart stuff over the last few weeks. I think he's one of the more progressive, smartest commissioners that I've seen in any of the big sports leagues. So one of the things he said is he's going to go ahead and next year possibly televise the players' draft for the All-Star game. This past year, LeBron and Steph did the draft and drafted their own players, kind of did like a fantasy draft with All-Star players for their teams.
Okay.
But they didn't televise it because they were afraid the last guy to get picked might get his feelings hurt.
Oh.
But Adam Silver came out and said, hey, you know what? That's not a big deal. We're going to go ahead. Let's televise it next year. Let's make it fun.
At least you're getting picked.
Yeah. And then another thing that a lot of people have been complaining about is, the seeding in the NBA. They're saying, the West is so much better than the East. So he came out and said, hey, we might do a 1 through 16 seed playoff instead of doing it East versus West. So we take the top teams and seed it 1 through 16. And the top 8 from the East and the top 8 from the West come through, but then you reseed all of it 1 through 16 in the playoffs. So he's thinking about implementing that next year. So he's trying to
refresh it, make it more interesting.
Exactly, Didi. He's trying to revolutionize the sport. He wants to stay up on the news. And another thing that happened, Didi, I don't know if you heard this or not, but LeBron James came out and was, he's being a little bit more of an activist and talking about some things that were important to him. A Fox News anchor came out and kind of said, shut up and dribble.
Yes,
and it became a big
that.
news story. I'm not going to rehash all of that. But Adam Silver went out and he supported LeBron James and Kevin Durant and some of the other guys that have said some things. So he went out there and he stood up for his guys and did, I think, what was the right thing to do and support his players.
Okay.
All right. Last thing. Golf story not related to Tiger Woods. Bubba Watson wins the Genesis Open
I don't
this
even
weekend.
know who that is.
And he played in the NBA Celebrity Game.
Oh.
All right, so that's it on NBA talk. I did promise the listeners some Winter Olympics talk. I do have a lot of great information about the Winter Olympics. Didi, how about that figure skating?
I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't really watched any of the Winter Olympics this
year. What about
year.
that triple axel?
Nope, didn't watch that.
How about the luge?
Nope, didn't watch that. I told you, I haven't really watched the Winter Olympics this year.
Well,
if
you
all.
go back and watch some highlights, there's a couple things that I'm going to bring to your attention. Number one, the Russian team, they're not known as Russia. They're known as the Olympic athletes from Russia, which is corny. But their curling team, which I love curling, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm passionate about my curling.
Well,
this story really hurts me a little bit here.
Oh.
One of these Olympic athletes from Russia, he's getting a little bit of a doping scandal going on right now.
Oh.
So him and the mixed doubles Olympic athletes from Russia team are a little bit under fire right now. His name is Alexander Krushelnitsky. Krushelnitsky.
Okay.
And he's got this doping thing. And, it's really blemishing the fine sport of curling.
Yes.
And the Olympics. And the fine Olympic athletes from Russia team who already has basically had all their teammates eliminated for doping. So good thing he made it through to get another scandal for doping for the athletes from Russia. And another thing, Didi, if you might want to check this out. I think you'd be into this. France's Gabriela Papadakis, keep that. She finished second, only to another Canadian duo, so she was with her partner, and the two of them, they finished second to this Canadian duo. But the most interesting thing is she scores 81.93 points, but she has a costume malfunction.
Oh, I did see that.
It left one of her breasts exposed on live TV, Didi.
Oh, my gosh. But
this was probably the most exciting part of the entire Olympics.
But she can't stop.
She got a good score. They got second.
Yeah.
I mean, she deserves the gold for going out there.
Was it all covered?
One boob just flapping around and winning.
Did she have a pasty on?
I actually didn't watch it.
Okay.
But I do know what I'll be YouTubing after the show.
Stop that.
All right. What's her name again?
I don't know.
Gabriela Papadakis. All right.
Ew.
So, women's hockey, is that what we're talking about?
I guess.
So the women's hockey team, they made it back to the gold medal round. They are going up in the finals against Team Canada, who has beaten us 4 years in a row. Team Canada is kind of our arch nemesis.
Well, I mean, it makes sense.
They're our Achilles heel. They are our yin to our yang.
All right, carry on.
Okay, carry on. So the women's team is playing Wednesday night. I believe it's on at 11 p.m. I'm actually really looking forward to watching this one. We're going to record our Scout Team Sports show, and then afterwards I'm going to be watching some women's hockey, and I am going to be cheering for Hillary Knight and the U.S. Women's Olympic team to bring home gold and beat Canada. We have not won gold since 1998. We have not beat Canada the last 4 Olympics, and this is our year, DD. This is our year. This is the year that we win gold. This is the year that we are going to be number 1. And now I need a dad joke, DD.
Okay, I can provide that.
Please.
Dad jokes. In the middle of the street, dad jokes. In the paint aisle of Home Depot, dad jokes. In the garden section at Lowe's, dad jokes. Yeah.
I feel like you don't have the same enthusiasm.
I don't know.
I'm sorry, I coughed into the microphone. I'm going to edit that out.
I don't know. I mean, it's a Monday night. I'm tired. I have schoolwork to do, but we're just going to get these jokes over with and done with.
Speak up, Didi. I can't hear you.
All right. Number 1. What position did the geometry teacher get in the race?
I don't know. What position did the geometry teacher get in the race, Didi?
Secant place.
All right, Didi.
That was a good one.
Yep,
Number
sure.
2, I'm going to stand outside. So if anyone asks, I'm outstanding. Oh, see, that button's stupid because these are all funny. Number 3, when I found a lump on my arm, I kept calling the doctor at 3 in the morning. He told me to cut it out.
All right, Didi, that was pretty good. I appreciate it.
They were all pretty good.
You always come with the best dad jokes.
I do.
You are the greatest designated driver on the planet Earth. And Loudbeard is fortunate to have you on the show every Monday night when we record. It drops Tuesday mornings. You can always catch it on iTunes. Just search Loudbeard Sports or hit us up on 12 Ounce Sports Radio. And this Scout is out.